What is up, Netflix fans, and welcome back to my channel. I just watched The Open House. You guys, this movie, oh my goodness, this movie! So The Open House is directed by two fairly unknown directors and stars Dylan Minnette, a guy I think is a really solid actor. He's been in some great things. He always gives good performances. Let's talk about the plot for a little bit. The premise of this movie is a woman and her son have to move into her sister's house after her husband dies, so freaky things start happening in the middle of nowhere. That's Courage the Cowardly Dog, I'm sorry. Weird stuff starts to happen and boom, you have your movie. Now, Netflix has done a really solid job over the last 4 months giving us good content in terms of television shows and movies. They gave us great movies at the end of last year, such as The Merowitz Stories and Mudbound. This year, they're not doing so well. I didn't like The Polka King at all, and The Open House... oh my goodness. If you're watching this review, it means you've probably watched this movie. If you watch this movie, that means you're probably in the same position that I am. Because while this movie was an hour and 30 minutes long, it felt like 7 hours. But we'll get into that in just a second. If you guys don't know how my reviews work, I like to talk about the good, the bad, and then give you guys my score. Here we go. So I'll say this about the movie. The premise is very interesting, and I think Dylan, like I said earlier, really gives a solid performance here. He's doing everything he can with the script that he was giving, and he gives good facial expressions and lines of dialogue. I like the music that is used to build tension, and some of the shots were nice. Some moving shots, some nice pans, some nice tilts. Is that all I liked? Yeah, I think that's it. Let's get into the bad. Okay, so this movie is horrible. Not just bad, this is horrible. This is one of the worst Netflix movies I have ever seen, and it's no fault really of any of the main actors or actresses. They're doing everything they can, but the script is one of the worst scripts I have seen in a long time. And I said the music that was used to build the tension was okay, but I didn't feel any tension until the 48-minute mark of the movie, and I didn't feel any kind of emotion towards the film until the hour mark. That's when things actually began to happen, but even then, I didn't feel like the plot was going in a specific direction. It was so muddled. It felt like it couldn't really find its footing, and then by the end of the movie, when things start to happen, you feel kind of satisfied when the events are taking place, but at the main end, the final scene, when you realize what just happened, no explanation for anything, no reason for these events to be happening, just pure disappointment. Oh, and yeah, this movie is not scary. They use the sound effects and the jump cues and the music, like I said, that swells every time somebody's walking, but then when the reveal happens, if it does happen, because most of the time it's nothing, when the reveal happens, it's not scary at all. This movie makes every single horror cliche generic mistake that you can make in a horror film, and then by the end, you get no resolve, no gratification, no reason to celebrate the events that happened, because there is just no point to all of it. Okay, I have to do this. I usually don't do spoilers in my reviews, but I have to, so from this point on, spoiling the movie doesn't matter. Who cares? This movie's horrible. One, there's a scene between Dylan's character and his mother. There is zero tension between them up until this point, and then they have this conversation where they're yelling at each other, and he tells her that he hates her, and she's telling him all these things. It's just so out of place. It didn't make any sense in context. It came out of nowhere. Sure, there's going to be tension between them because this stuff's happening, but even then, you don't just snap at each other like that. It wasn't realistic at all. Oh yeah, we're talking spoilers. Everyone dies. You never find out who it was that was doing all of this in the first place. There's no resolve with the evil character. No, it's not a demon. No, it's nothing scary. It's literally a guy that's in their house. Maybe it was the crazy lady's husband. I thought that was going to be a reveal. That would have been really predictable, but at least it would have been a reveal, but they don't even point to anything. What was the point? Maybe I missed that. Maybe that was at the end of the movie, but I just stopped paying attention at the hour and 15-minute mark. I like when movies take chances, and sometimes when the hero dies, it's cool, but in this case, when there is no point to anything happening on screen, both of our heroes or the people that we're following dying, did not work. It did not leave us with any gratification, and frankly, it made the movie worse than it already was. I just couldn't find anything in this movie to redeem it other than the main two characters who had good chemistry and they were good actors. Nothing else worked for me. Oh yeah, and at the beginning of the movie, the father dies and you don't really feel any emotion there because you have no connection to any of them except for one scene, and even then, they don't have a good enough script to make you want to care about these characters. Guys, if you like this movie, I really apologize because I am crapping all over it. I just could not stand this film. And the more I talk about it, the more I dislike it, and the farther down my score goes, I'm giving this a 23%. That's the lowest score I've given in a long, long time. I like Dylan a lot, and I hope he chooses better movies after this. So what did you guys think about The Open House? Sorry for being so mean. If you guys don't follow me on the Stardust app, please do that. I'm reviewing movies on there daily. You're the absolute best. If you watch this movie, I would love to start a conversation with you below. If you liked it, I am not going to judge you for that. Let me know in the comments. Give me some reasons. Maybe I'll find some reason to like this a little bit more. You guys are the absolute best, and I'll catch you later.